Well, Charles confirmed my suspicion that they absolutely never want to have a child, and it also seems like Michael Kaiser is the offspring of Roberto Carlos and Stevie Wonder. That's crazy. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Animasu, and today we're going to be reading through Blue Lock chapter 259, titled Challenge the Impossible. If you enjoy staying updated with Blue Lock and want to support me, please feel free to click that subscribe button, comment below your thoughts, and also check out my community Discord and Patreon down in the description. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into today's chapter. Today's chapter actually starts off with a 2-page color spread in celebration of episode Nagi releasing in Japan, which just really hurts me to my core. I just want to see the damn movie already. Charles and Loki have their official colors shown here, which the thing I immediately noticed was their yellow, golden colored eyes. I really was expecting Charles to have some blue or green colored eyes, and as for Loki, I was kind of expecting maybe a red or darker crimson. Besides that, there's just some nerdy promotional text which states, "Alert, egoist spotted. Hint, it's you." Don't get too excited and take this to heart because this message was actually personally written for me by the author, so yeah, sorry to disappoint. Anyways, to actually start off today's chapter, we have some intro text which states, seeing his team on the verge of being stolen by Isagi, Kaiser seethes with rage. With his back against the wall and with only Ness to support him, how will Kaiser turn this almost disastrous situation back in his favor? Speaking of Kaiser, the entire first page is just dedicated to proving to us that he is indeed seething with rage. Lobro's forehead vein is nearly bust through the seams, as he's also clenching his shoulder with some emo-ass aura. Turning his head as to not puke in disgust, Kaiser seems to be thinking about Isagi as usual, and how he seems to be rapidly evolving. It's to the point where Kaiser truly views him as a proper threat, literally stating that if he can master that 2-gun shot, then his value as a striker will skyrocket. He even realizes that Isagi is already on the verge of swiping away his team, which clearly doesn't sit well with this egoist. With intensity in his eyes, Kaiser just cannot accept becoming second fiddle to someone like Isagi yoichi. Even more so, he just won't let anyone outshine him, using his own damn team. Then hearing a voice calling out from behind him, Alexis Ness seems to be trying to get his attention here while sweating profusely. Accompanied with a super panicked expression and a seemingly shaking voice based on the font, Ness points out that with his current formation, he's literally the only remaining ally for Kaiser on this field. As usual though, due to their toxic relationship dynamic, Kaiser simply turns on friendly fire by telling Ness to shut up and get back to moving. A lack of allies or Ness worrying is no concern to him, because Kaiser states that his only objective is showing Yoichi no matter how much he tries, he will never surpass me. So at this point in the game, he's even stating that more than winning this game, he wants to flex his superiority over Isagi. That's kinda crazy to me. And some ominous text here that will make sense later in the chapter, Kaiser tells Ness, it's now or never, time to unleash that impossible weapon before Yoichi manages to steal everything from me. With that, the game finally kicks back off as both Kaiser and Ness seem to lock the fuck in. Hitoshi Rin of course makes the first move for PXG here, starting it off with a short pass right over to Nanase. Although Kyorajin steps in to try and interfere, Nanase seems to successfully curve a pass right on by to Hitoshi Rin. Sprinting forward with the ball in possession, Rin is quickly approached by both Yoichi and Ryuchi at his front. Taking a deep breath out, Rin decides to just scan the field and calmly assess his options here. Just then, however, a child's voice starts to cry out from Rin's left. "Hey, Loki! Sub me out of this game already!" Waving his hand in the air, paying no attention to the field, Charles Chevalier is requesting for Loki to literally replace him 2 goals deep into this game. To the surprise of literally everyone, Charles goes on to whine even more that none of his passes are going through, blaming Kunigami or the Muscle Freak for pocketing Shidou. In my new favorite panel of all of Blue Lock, Charles just takes on a derpy expression while asking to quit purely due to boredom. I now see why Charles and Shidou get along and related so well. They're both immature weirdos. Julian Loki of course looks like he's about to crash out from hearing this, as based on his reaction, this is not Charles' first outburst in a game. He explains him to have an irritating lack of motivation, but honestly, I just think Loki needs to sub in himself and guide the way. I'm trying to see what the Speedster and his prodigy can do together, but let me know if you guys even expect the Master Strikers to sub in this game. Anyways, getting back into the action, Hiyori and Ryuchi are immediately shown to be double pressing Rin from his right and left. The moment Rin came to a halt, these two jumped on that ass, with even Ryuchi taunting him over Charles ignoring him. I mean, in all fairness, he quite literally did say he would rather give up and sub out of the game than pass to Hitoshi Rin at the moment, so Ryuchi kinda cooked here. This press obviously throws Hitoshi Rin and even Karasu into panic mode, because with the ball actually breaking loose here from PXG's possession, Corona is shown here sprinting in for the counter. Leaping right overs on Tetsu's foot while trapping the ball, our cute shark boy Corona finally debuts on the field to shock everyone. As he sprints forward with only Tokimitsu and Nanase visible at his front, he clarifies his obvious goal here is to aim and assist Isagi Yoichi with his 4th Neo-Egoist League goal. He does shoot off a pass right away in the direction of Isagi, however the blue rose comes flying into the air here to intercept it. With the tables now turned, Kaiser has been forced to rely on interceptions within his own team to gain possession, just like Isagi did during the Barca match. He immediately sprints forward on the offensive with an intense expression, only having one question for his partner Ness. Are you ready? His eyes light up with the flow state as he seems to be preparing for something really big, but just as we're seeing this, it kind of fades into a flashback, JJK style. The next events we cover take place 10 days prior in-universe time, right inside the Germany training field. Kaiser seems to be breaking down what the Magnus effect is to Ness, as he explains that when a player kicks the ball, the air will naturally exert an equal and opposite force back onto the ball. He goes on to say that the reason a spinning ball can even curve, dip, or rise is all due to the difference of air resistance between the different sides of the ball. Accompanied with his explanation is a diagram right behind him to show the mechanism of a spinning ball, but I don't want to bore you guys to death, so feel free to pause and read if you'd like to learn more about the Magnus effect, but we're just gonna move on. Ness is just blushing and glazing as usual, and while Kaiser is setting down the ball near his feet, he explains that he's only really focused on upping his Kaiser impact's velocity and power while traveling straight. Adjusting and centering the ball though, he goes on to explain that his new weapon is actually planned to add some spin to the Kaiser impact shot to make it curve. I personally was expecting Isagi Yoichi's first shot to be a curved one, or at least him adapt this, but a curved Kaiser impact is even more insane to see first. As he stands over the ball looking majestic and breathable, pause. Kaiser explains that he'll have to develop the capacity to consistently strike the ball exactly where he needs for this shot, literally hoping to get it on par with his normal impact. As we see him lining up and preparing a kick, he explains that using the air valve as a central reference point, the best contact point for his Magnus impact is to the bottom left of the ball. Swinging through with a shot around the dummy targets, Kaiser seems to be confident in his demonstration. However, Alexis just immediately wonders if he mishit the ball. As the ball begins to curve right on around behind the target dummies however, Alexis is just left with shock on his face, as Kaiser has successfully shown off his new curved weapon, Kaiser Impact Magnus Edition. Ness then goes on to do some honestly valid glazing here, because not only did he sacrifice no speed or power behind his shot, Kaiser can just now freely control the direction of Kaiser Impact, making it nearly unstoppable. Unfortunately, the Blue Rose goes on to point out the one big problem, being that the only way he can even pull this off now is if the ball is sitting perfectly still. As we cut back to the game, Kaiser passes the ball right on over to Ness, while it's emphasized how difficult this shot will really be in-game. With Ness cooking past both Nanase and Rin to send a pass through back to Kaiser, it's actually revealed that he's never even managed to successfully use this weapon on a ball in motion. As he traps Ness's pass though while holding back Tokimitsu and Karasu, Kaiser is confident that right here and right now, he will demonstrate the Magnus technique perfectly. This man is locked into the max and determines that despite being a bit off balance, having 2 defenders right next to him, and even 3 more in front, the conditions are still somehow set for him to use this weapon. We see a target in the top left of the net where he seems to be aiming. Despite the ball being in motion, Michael Kaiser swings through to shoot with his brand new weapon, Kaiser Impact Magnus. He's even fully immersed himself into the flow state with Predator Eye for the shot, showing just how important it is for him to be above Isagi. Also, let me just say, any Kaiser shot panel we get, I absolutely always love, because his thorny vine aura with falling rose petals is probably the best in the entire series. As everyone just stares up and looks over in confusion, Ryusei and Nanase both verbally ask what the hell Kaiser is aiming for. Everyone straight up thinks that he just missed while swinging for his normal Kaiser impact. However, Kaiser, he knows exactly what he's scheming for here, and prays to the high heavens for this ball to curve inwards. Unfortunately for him, the Blue Lock facility does not have strong enough airflow to blow this shit back on course, so Kaiser's attempted Magnus shot just spins out and into the fucking back rooms. Both Ness and Isagi are just watching in disbelief as Kaiser crashes to the ground, because for the first time ever, Kaiser has truly lost his outward composure in the league. Clenching his hands while rising to his knees, all Kaiser can do is just scream out in pure rage and anger. We've seen this same scene before with Kaiser raging or freaking out, but for the first time truly, he's unraveling by the seams, right before Isagi's eyes. The outro text here says, to turn the tables back in his favor, Kaiser unleashes his new weapon, the Kaiser Impact Magnus. His first attempt, however, sails way off target. As Kaiser yells in frustration, tiny cracks begin to appear in his otherwise confident demeanor. With both the intro and outro text being all about Kaiser's reaction and new shot, all we're left with now is the title for the upcoming chapter 260, being Piece of Trash. Now firstly with the bad news, next week is a break week, so go ahead and flip your shit like Kaiser real quick for me. The good news though is with outro text like that leading into next chapter's title of Piece of Trash, my prediction for chapter 260 is that we possibly will get some of Kaiser's backstory. There's nobody I expect this referred to other than Itoshi Rin, who could very well get some attention with a perspective change to PXG and or a goal. Let me know what you guys are expecting to happen in chapter 260. Will Kaiser's backstory or true personality be revealed due to his missed Magnus shot? Will something else happen, such as an Itoshi Rin perspective change? Anyways, with that being the end of today's video, I just want to thank you all so much for tuning into my channel. If you'd like to support me in these uploads, please feel free to click that subscribe button, comment below your thoughts, and even check out my community Discord and Patreon down in the description. Please go and have an amazing day, and whatever you do, do not try the Kaiser Impact Magnus Challenge at 3 AM. I broke my fucking backdoor window.